Hi guys, my name is Michelle.
My name is Thais.
My name is Sam.
And we're Group 3.
And this is our model of the larynx. Hi, this is our larynx model, and we're going to be talking about the thyroid cartilage, which is in blue. It is the largest of the laryngeal cartilage, and it articulates with the cricoid below, that is in green, and the hyoid above, which is in yellow. It features a left and right lamina which meet to form the laryngeal prominence and the most superior pointy angle. It also aids in protecting the vocal folds. Next is the hyoid bone, which is in yellow. It suspends the laryngeal skeleton and it forms a union between the tongue and the laryngeal structures. It loosely articulates with the superior portion of the thyroid cartilage, and it is considered free-floating since it is not directly connected to any other bones in the body, as seen in this space here. And it is open in the back. Next is the cricoid cartilage, which is in green. It is described as being shaped like a signet ring, and it sits inferior to the thyroid cartilage. It provides attachments for the cricothyroid muscle, the posterior cricoarytenoid muscle, and the lateral cricoarytenoid muscles. And it is involved in opening and closing the airways and in speech production. And it goes all the way around. Next are the arytenoid cartilages, which are in pink. They are one of the most important aspects of the larynx. They are pyramidal in shape. The vocal processes mark the posterior attachment of the vocal folds so that they provide the onset and offset of voicing. The apex articulates with the corniculate cartilages, which are in white. They play a role in relaxing, tensing, and approximating the vocal cords of the larynx. Since they are attached to the arytenoid cartilages, they are further attached to the vocal cords.
The muscular processes are attached to two intrinsic laryngeal muscles, the thyroidrytenoid and the cricoarytenoid, and the base articulates with the cricoid cartilage, which are in green. Next are the posterior cricoid muscles, which are in teal right here. They are the sole abductors of the vocal folds, so they open them and they rock the arytenoid cartilages laterally. The Epiglottis is the opening of the folds. The lateral cricoid arytenoid muscles, which are in light blue, they are the muscles that extend from the lateral cricoid cartilage to the arytenoid. They rotate the arytenoid medially, abducting the vocal cords and may lengthen them, protecting the airway. Next are the interarytenoid muscles, the transverse, which is in orange, and the oblique, which is the X in the purple. The transverse is a band of fibers that runs laterally from arytenoid to arytenoid. This causes them to be pulled closer together, which in turn pulls the vocal folds closer together in adduction. The obliques function similarly in abduction. They run obliquely up to the apex of the opposite arytenoids, which results in the X shape. It also works in conjunction with the epiglottic muscle, in which it aids in pulling the epiglottis to cover the opening of the larynx.
And next are the thyroarytenoid muscles, which are in red. They form the body of the vocal folds and support the wall of the ventricle and the apex. They are inserted in the anterior surface of the arytenoid, and they help to reduce tension on the vocal folds during speech to decrease pitch. They are innervated by the recurrent laryngeal branch of the vagus nerve. Next are the cricothyroids, which are in white. They are innervated by the external branch of the superior laryngeal nerve. They depress the thyroid relative to the cricoid, and they're the only tensor muscle of the larynx, aiding in phonation, which results in a higher pitch, since the folds are elongated. Next is the vocalist muscle, which is in gold. The lower and deeper fibers of the muscle can be differentiated as a triangular band, which is inserted into the vocal process of the arytenoid cartilages into the adjacent portion of the anterior surface. They lie parallel to the vocal ligaments, and the vocal folds are innervated by the recurrent laryngeal nerve. The Epiglottis is the spacing between the vocal folds. Next is the trachea, which is in light pink. It is a cartilaginous tube that connects the pharynx and the larynx to the lungs, allowing the passage of air. The top of the trachea is a cricoid cartilage, which transitions from the larynx. The cricoid cartilage is in green, which is the only complete tracheal ring, and the others are incomplete. The trachea is surrounded by the rings of hyaline cartilage, and there are about 15 to 20 in total, and these reinforce the front and sides of the trachea to protect and maintain the airway. Next is the epiglottis, which is this black spoon right here, and it is shaped like a leaf and has a stalk which is called the petiole. The function is to invert and flex posteriorly, as it is a layer of protection for the larynx when you swallow. There are two surfaces, the lingual one, which faces the tongue, and the laryngeal, which faces the larynx. The laryngeal vestibule, which is the tip of the spoon right here, on the larynx is attached to the hyoid bone by the hyoepiglottic ligament, and there are branches of the internal laryngeal nerve of the vagus nerve. They conduct sensory information for the larynx. This is when the vocal folds are adducted and closed.